It is man's duty. It is man's duty to protect women. It is our duty as men. I truly believe this, that is it is our duty to protect women, not to exploit women. And the truth is the truth is that porn exploits women. You know, I remember a time where I didn't know I didn't know what the term sex object. I had heard it so much, so really I had heard it so much that it was so cliche it didn't really register in my mind. But the truth is when I would hear that term, I now look back, I understand what the term sex object means. It just means that you're looking at women and you're just thinking, what could I get from that woman? What what sexually could that woman give me? And the truth is when you look at women like that, it definitely it's definitely not it's not a good thing. And the thing is a lot of these women in porn, sometimes when my mind would get stuck on the fact that like the all of these women, it's like sometimes your brain thinks, wow, these women, they must just love sex. I don't believe that. That's not true. Like a lot of these women have had traumatic past things happen in their past. A lot of these women have been sexually assaulted. They may have been traumatized when they were younger. They may have been molested when they're 6 years old. A lot of times women get into porn for a variety of reasons, but the truth is mentally a lot of these women are just not, they're not mentally in a good place in order to go into porn. And so a lot of them have just very traumatic backgrounds. A lot of them, you really should do some research. And if you look up, like there's a bunch of ex porn stars that just talk about how rampant drug use is with porn stars, because it's a very rugged life. It's a very rugged life for them. And the truth is I think as men, we have a duty to protect these women. And you know, sometimes when I get tempted with porn and I start thinking about God, and I start looking at these women like, man, you know, like sometimes I'll get a sex image in my mind and I'm like, oh man, that's amazing. And then what will happen is I will I will start trying to see it from God's view. And I will look at it and I'll say, yeah, but like that girl that is doing all of those things, like that girl is somebody's daughter. Like that girl is somebody's sister. Can you imagine if you had a sister and you knew that all of these guys were doing these things to her? I mean, it's when you put it into that context, it's just, it makes it like it I've had times where when I've thought about it like that, it made me sick to my stomach. You know, I haven't seen porn in 13 years. I've had probably 7 or 8 slip-ups. Okay, I've had 7 or 8 times where I've had 7 or 8 times where something in my life got to me, or I should say I let it get to me, and I messed up. And I completely regret it. Man, it was rugged. It was rugged. It's hard to bounce back from that when you feel such shame like that. But when I picture things like that, sometimes when I get tempted, in my head I start thinking, I'm like, those girls they're not going wild just because they love sex. Like, they're, first of all, mentally there's something going on with them. They're either craving the attention, because if your brain starts thinking that, like, oh, these women just love sex, it's all a fantasy, and behind the scenes it's not nearly as glamorous as you think. But I really do believe it as men, and one of the reasons why I launched my YouTube channel is because I really do believe that we need to do a better job of protecting these women. And as men, the best way that we can honor women is to stand up for them. And every time that you decide, you know what, I'm not gonna watch this stuff. I'm not gonna watch this stuff. Every single time that you do that, you're basically standing up for women. Thank you.